Well, good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to talk about this little guy. This is my smart ring by Ultrahuman. The Ultrahuman Air is what it's called. And unfortunately, I cannot recommend you this product. Even though Ultrahuman sent me this for free, I think it's important to talk about why this hasn't worked out for me in an honest way. Sometimes companies will send YouTubers like myself products to showcase. And sometimes there's an expectation to be overly positive, to be grateful for the product that was sent to you. But in this case, I got to give the Ultrahuman team credit because the person on their team I'm communicating with has been very clear that they welcome critical feedback and that this is a new product and they really want to learn from user experiences. So I think instead of just coming up with some, oh, this is amazing, it changed my life, here I am, montage of me running and lifting weights and all these, that won't help anyone. What might help people is sitting down here uninterrupted and just giving you my honest thoughts on what I like about this, but ultimately what I don't like. And at this moment, what I don't like outweighs what I like. And it pains me to say that because I honestly, I got excited when I was approached to talk about this and to get to try this out. I like the idea. I think a lot of people who buy smart rings like the idea of this little device that can be kind of cool and stylish and just not like a big watch or a phone, but just this little thing that can tell you about your sleep, tell you about your heart rate, tell you about your workouts, your steps, everything. But in reality, it's not giving me the useful information I expected. In fact, it's asking more of me than I expected. It's asking me to input, as I sit here drinking my coffee, it's asking me to input when I drink a caffeinated drink. It's asking me to record information. But I don't want to record information. You're supposed to record the information. And I mean, I get it. You don't have eyes. You can't really tell when I'm drinking a coffee, but I guess what I'm saying is when I explore the Ultrahuman app, and there's so much depth to it, and it would take a while to actually, it's not that it's not intuitive, it's a well-designed app. It's just for someone who doesn't spend a lot of time like myself looking at their own biometrics, it's overwhelming. I wake up and I want to know if I had a good sleep, and I have all this different sleep data. And some of it says optimal. It's like, okay, my amount of time was optimal. My REM sleep was optimal, but I woke up 14 times, or I had 14 not wake ups, but tosses and turns. And then that says not good or subpar or something, right? But, and then it tells me you can avoid, maybe I had caffeine or alcohol too close to my bedtime, maybe, it gives you little tips dim the lights, little things you can do to avoid that. But I have no idea how rare that is. Are most people tossing and turning 14 times, or is that unusual? Is that a quirk of my own body, but totally fine and normal in the greater scheme of things? Or is that a big problem that I should speak to a sleep doctor about? Is tossing and turning 14 times very unusual? Because all my life I know that I'll sometimes wake up and I've thrown one pillow and kicked some of the sheets to the floor. I know intuitively and from my own lived experience that I do toss and turn a lot in my sleep. And this has verified that. So it's told me I'm not crazy. It's told me something I knew, but what do I do with that information? And so I guess on one level, like there are people who are really into data and really into information. And I guess if I were working with a sleep doctor, something like this could be an interesting tool. But the missing ingredient for me is I would like more actual... Like if there were a way that there were some kind of... you know how you can go on ChatGPT and you can essentially ask anything? Like what if there was an AI-assisted voice where I could just be like, hey, how was my sleep last night? And it could just tell me at a glance. Instead of me having to interpret the data and like learn a lot about biometrics, could you just tell me in more simple terms how I'm doing? And again, there are ways that it tells you. There are ways where it tells you this was good, this was not good, you know. I just feel like it's still asking a lot from me. And other times I feel like it's just not working properly. And one of the big disappointments for me was the step counter. I know it's a simple metric. I know there's a lot more it can do than count steps, but as I try to reduce my usage of my phone, like a lot of people, I'm really coming to grips with how deep phone addiction can be in 2025. And I want to be using this less. I want to go for a walk and just have this. And there's supposed to be some kind of integration between the iPhone app that counts my steps and the Ultra Ring, but it's just there's no... Mine hasn't been syncing. I haven't been able to figure that out. I did a quick Google search. Other people are having trouble with that. And I don't know. It might be an API issue. It might be that I could imagine, Apple notoriously doesn't want to share their stuff because they don't want competitors coming and stealing their pieces of the pie. So they'll make it so the Apple Watch can sync easily with your phone, but competitors like this can't. So it could be that kind of issue. But all I know is it's not syncing. It's not like I can walk for 2 hours on my phone and then later feel like, oh, I've had enough phone time. I'll leave it at home and then walk another 20 minutes and just count on this, and then it's all together in one place. Like that would be the holy grail of step counters. But it doesn't work that way. In fact, just before recording this, I took a little morning walk, like very small, just around the block. But my phone recorded, let's see, my phone says I did 807 steps from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And according to this phone, it was saying 507. It just updated to 618. 618. So it's getting closer. But it's still not the same. And so there's discrepancies, and I don't know which to trust. But instinctively, I trust my phone more because it's in my pocket. And I'm not an expert on step counters. I'm not sure how it works. I assume it's not just geographical, right? It's not just the GPS location and it's counting how many steps you must have taken. Like it's actually your hip movement or your leg movement. And to me, it seems that each step, if it's down here, could be more accurate than here, because what if you have your hand in your pocket? Is it really counting properly? So I have questions about the accuracy of a ring to count steps to begin with. I had that question before receiving the ring, but I thought with modern technology, who knows? I don't actually know how it's counting my steps. Maybe there's a way to do it that I'm not aware of. But I just don't find it reliable for counting steps. So that is one thing that I haven't gotten out of it. Another thing is like workouts. I this is fairly obvious, but like as I hold my coffee cup, do you hear that? So every time I'm at the gym, if I want to lift weights, it's going to be, I'm going to be touching that, right? And eventually, like, you grab and drop enough barbells, you're either going to damage the ring, which, to be fair, I mean, I shouldn't intentionally damage it, but I was just trying to show that it's pretty solid. You know, like it has, you know, it has touched my keys. It has touched my, I ride my bike, and the handlebars haven't scratched it or anything. So I don't think it scratches super easily, but it's also not, you know, indestructible or anything. So if I worked out with this, yeah, it could get scratched, and also it could, more importantly, I just want a good grip. I don't want to be wearing this while working out. And more generally, I don't want to be wearing it through the whole day. And that's something that is so obvious, but I think needs to be stated. Sometimes the most obvious truths are the ones we neglect. And the obvious truth about a smart ring is, do you actually like wearing rings? Will you want to wear that all day, every day? I will say I got used to it. You get more used to it. When I first received the sizing kit to try it on, the first day I was like, I almost told Ultrahuman, I was like, hey guys, I tried it. I just, the ring, I'm not a ring guy. I'm gonna politely decline the offer here. But then I was like, no, I really want to try it out. The biometrics, it sounds cool, you know, it looks cool. I want to be one of those like smart ring guys, you know. And then, so I did it, and now I'm getting more used to it, but I'm still not, like when I eat, I still take it off, right? People who have wedding rings, like people who wear rings don't take them off to eat usually, right? Or, yeah, just anytime I'm using my hands, even like washing my hands, cleaning it, sometimes I'll just take it off. It just feels easier. And, that brings into question whether I should have got a smart ring to begin with. And I know that this is a silly thing to talk about in a review of the product. I'm kind of reviewing my own habits more than anything. It's like I'm doing a review for a car, and I'm like, but does anyone really need to drive with all these bicycles we have? Listen, this is my experience, and ultimately, the biggest surprise, and I'll say something positive here, just to show I'm not trying to do a hit piece here with this video. I'm not trying to take down the Ultra Ring company and say that this product is a failure. It's not. But ultimately, I have some problems with the software and the step counting and stuff like that. But even if that was perfect, I wonder if the product is, I wonder if it's really going to work for active people who need their hands, you know? You couldn't play basketball with something like this on. You couldn't do volleyball, you know, anything that really needs your hands, forget about it. Golf, do people golf with rings like that? I don't know. I feel like even a golf club would be tricky. Anyway, something that has surprised me about this ring is I've been actually using it more while I sleep than during the day. I thought that, you know, sleep patterns would be kind of a interesting thing, but not like the main use. But my main use has been, I've been using it every night. 1 or 2 nights I've forgotten. I've had it for a couple weeks, and 1 or 2 nights I forgot. Or one night I was like really sleepy, and I was like, oh, where's my ring? And I was already falling asleep, and I was like, oh, I'll just fall asleep. But my finger, I felt like something was missing. I was like, oh, where's my ring? So at night I actually like having it. It's only during the day when I'm using my hands that I feel like it's intrusive. At night, it's the opposite. It fits great. I love, for me, it's size 10. It's perfect. snug but easy to take on and off. I like it. The inside feels great. Very comfortable ring, but still a ring. But yeah, one thing I have enjoyed, if there's one thing I've really enjoyed, it's been just waking up and seeing, you know, I'll look at it now, and actually had a really short sleep last night, hence the coffee. Oh, that was bad. I'm going to need a nap today. This was my worst sleep since getting this thing. Look at this. Look at all that red. All that red is saying needs attention. Total sleep 4 hours, 10 minutes. Time in bed 4 hours, 30 minutes. Restorative sleep 38%. Heart rate drop 8:31 a.m. needs attention. See, heart rate drop is another one. It says my heart rate takes longer than usual to drop. And then it says meal timing. The nature of your meal affects how fast your body will get rest and repair, get into the rest and repair phase. So basically, it's encouraging me to have a calm sleep environment, to avoid heavy meals before bed. Yeah, and so this is interesting because last night I was having an awful night's sleep. I almost pulled an all-nighter. I was like, I just can't. It was one of those nights where you just lay down and I was just full. I just couldn't sleep. And thankfully, that's like I say, that's the worst night I've had. So I've got other nights here, like 8.5 hours optimal, 8:20 optimal, 7:40. 6:45. I mean, it is interesting. I should actually find my average. It will be interesting to, after a couple of weeks, find my average sleep, and not just what I think it is, but actually, because when I actually look at these numbers, I mean, 4.5 or 4 hours and 10 minutes. Pardon me. Today was awful. But the night before I had 9 hours. So talk about a big difference. But yeah, after, let's say 2 weeks. Well, I have 2 weeks. Let's say after 30 days, I'll go through and I'll find my average, and that will be cool. And then if I ever do have to talk to a sleep doctor about my restlessness or something like that, I can when they ask how many hours you sleep, I can be like, well, you asked the right guy. I sleep 7 hours and 16 minutes and 22 seconds. Just ask my ring, you know. That'd be kind of cool. So, I mean, I guess if someone really cares about their sleep, it's worth it just for that. It's a few $100s for the ring. Sleep's an important thing. I mean, I'm grateful that I learned more about my sleep habits, and I'm still learning more about my sleep habits. Ironically, if it was just branded as like a sleeping aid, a sleep tool, I would probably be like, hey, like this, I love this thing. It'd be a glowing review. It's just, it's not helping me at all measure my physical activity. It's just not. It's just not. And so it's hard for me to recommend this ring for that reason. At least what I thought this ring would be. Some other reviews, I've looked to see what other people think of the ring. Some people have had issues with charging. Some people say it's not collecting their data properly. I mean, I guess it's not collecting my steps. Maybe that is a hardware issue, but I don't think so. I think it does a great job with my sleep. It's able to collect my data properly. And by the way, when I do go into the app and there's some of these sleeping exercise, or not sleeping exercises, breathing exercises. Last night, it was funny last night. I was actually, I was thinking to myself, I've had this for a couple of weeks. I really should sit down and make a video talking about this ring. And you know, like late at night when your mind is racing, you just can't turn it off. That was like one of the things I was thinking about. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to make this video about the Ring. And as I was thinking about that and I couldn't sleep, I was like, oh yeah, doesn't the Ring app have these deep breathing exercises? Maybe that'll calm me down and help me sleep. And there was one to help you sleep. And I'll share this as a little preview for anyone who cares about breathing exercises. By the way, the app, and I'm not going to show you the whole app because it'd be kind of boring on a video to see too much of it, but they have a profile page, which I think could be improved. I don't like that the first thing I see is just an ad to buy Ultrahuman X and to upgrade. That I think is a bit, you know, it says there's thousands of hours of content on Ultrahuman Digital. And in here you get, like, look at this, meditate, workout, sleep, the mind series. I mean, this is great. You have calming anxiety, managing anger. I mean, this is cool. I'm gonna dig deeper into this, but I feel like it's hidden a little bit behind just an ad. And like at first glance, it feels like this page is just kind of telling me to like there's another home device that can monitor my health at home. Like it's kind of like just trying to sell me a lot of stuff. So clearly there's some, like, I would say I don't want to be too rude to the Ultrahuman team because someone from the team is probably going to watch this, but I'd say maybe sometimes in companies there's like tension between the developers and the marketers. I think some of the marketers are probably like, well, we need to sell more stuff. But it's like, hey, you need to lead with the content, and then people will really like your product, and then they might buy the upgrades, right? And I can tell you that as a YouTuber, like YouTubers need to make hundreds of cool videos before, like, you know, if I had a product or a course, like no one's going to buy that before they're really like sold on you as a human being. So before people really get sold on the Ultrahuman Ring, like lead with all that cool content you have in here. It's kind of buried right now. Breathing protocols. For anyone who's wondering, you got to click on the plus, and then you got to go to breath work. And yeah, I was doing the 4-7-8 breathing. And this is really cool because as I was falling asleep, now again, you could like Google different exercises, but I like how it's designed here. Right now it's saying hold my breath. And so for 4 seconds, I'm inhaling. For 7, I'm holding. Now, that was just a little demo, but last night when I was trying to fall asleep, I actually muted it so I didn't have those sounds on it. But even without the sounds, you can still see the color, right? Like there's a color that's growing as you, I mean, it's like breathe in and it's like getting bigger. And then there's another color that means hold. And then there's another color as you exhale. And like I was literally feeling myself getting sleepy as I was doing this, to the point at which my eyes were almost closed and I could just barely see the color. So whoever designed that has clearly used it and knows what someone needs when they're falling asleep, because that was really well done, really well designed, and it's cool. I mean, I also feel like to see my heart rate changing from the Ring in real time is cool. Yeah, so that part, again, like I'm using the Ring more when I'm stationary, like for the breathing exercises or for the sleep. But for the actual exercise, I don't want to use it at all. So it's the opposite of what I thought. Like I thought I'm like using my exercise. I'm like tracking how healthy I am. It's making me move more. It's actually making me move less. It's reminding me to meditate. It's reminding me to sleep more, even though I didn't sleep more last night. And so I think if there's a path forward, if there's a way to make me highly recommend this, is there a way that could be a meditation and sleep tool? Is there a way to double down on that? Again, I'm just a random dude who like barely knows anything about biometrics. I'm not going to tell the Ultrahuman team how to run their company or anything like that. But this has been my experience, and I remain skeptical about the concept of using a ring for activity. But as a meditation tool, like I said, this literally helped me fall asleep last night. That was useful. And the first time I tried meditating with the app and with this, it felt really good too. So maybe I just need to double down and meditate daily with this. And I mean, people spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on meditation retreats. If I can find some moment of Zen with this and with the app, then who cares about my steps, right? That's more important to me at the end of the day. I just think a lot of people who approach products like this will be different. Like they won't necessarily care about meditation. They'll care more about their data. It will attract a certain type of data nerd who wants to analyze all the data and put it in spreadsheets and see how their heart rate was slightly higher this month or slightly lower this month and be like, that's interesting. My heart rate gets lower in the winter. And then like adjust their lifestyle based on that. You know, who's that guy? Brian Johnson, the scientist who wants to live forever. Those kinds of people want every single data point they can find. But unfortunately, it still feels like an unfinished product to me. And that's why, I thought it'd be interesting to just sit here with my coffee and talk to you about this ring as I would talk to a friend, as I would honestly share my feedback. And if I were talking to my best friend over coffee right now, I'd be like, hey, you know what? For the price, I don't know if it's worth it unless you really want to track your sleep and you want to like help have a meditation tool. All the other stuff, I just don't see the benefit. Maybe you're not like me. Maybe you already wear rings every day. Maybe you've done your research and you've thought a lot about why you want a ring instead of a smartwatch, instead of a smartphone. If you are that person, more power to you. If you're just curious and you're like, oh, I could try the ring out. Well, I tried the ring out and I'm not convinced. Thank you again to the Ultrahuman team for sending this to me. And also thank you for not having any strings attached. You know, they seem to be very responsive. They seem to be very open to feedback and criticism. And I feel very comfortable making this video, even though I got sent something for free. Because at the end of the day, we need to be more honest as YouTubers. And this isn't, I'm going to end with this rant, not just about Ultrahuman, but just about products in general. It's getting really bad out there. No one is disclosing when they get things for free. Everyone is hyping up products that turn out to be not 100% what they say it is. And that hurts the consumer. It also hurts the honest people and companies who want to make good products. I think the team at Ultrahuman wants to make good products. I just don't think it's there yet. But hopefully this video will help them on that journey. And yeah, as always, link down below if you do want to check it out. If you do want to buy one, you can always use my affiliate code, but no pressure. Only buy things that improve your life. As always, I'm Dan, and I will catch you next time. Peace.